Well, here's a familiar view. Hi, everybody. Uh, guess who's made a little bit of progress? I have been doing a lot of painting. Hours and hours of painting. Most of it is just tedious hand painting. And I decided to do both interiors. I haven't done both helmets. Not sure if I'm gonna. I have other helmets. I'll probably do that at some point. I really feel like moving on at this point. But, I've got this dash. I'm still waiting for decals to come in to put the numbers on the dash and get that all hunky-dory and then glued to this piece right here. And then that will sit on top of here and give this a completed look. I might go in and paint legs in here like I did with this interior. I didn't think of doing that. I actually thought this was going to be, his legs were going to be more covered than they are, but when I stick this on top, I've just realized that that's not the case. But that's all right. I can always go in and paint that. So that's what I've been busily working on. This is about, I don't know, 3 hours worth of painting, maybe 4, give or take. Spray painted the silver first, hand painted the red on the fire extinguishers, a little bit of wiring harness that goes, or wiring that goes to the fire extinguisher, the hoses, I guess. Shifter knob, seat, of course, seat belts, shoulder harness, Hans device underneath, some padding to the seat belts. I'm assuming the hardware is really nice on this 3D scan model. It's much clearer and well defined. And then we go back to this helmet, and we got him with the Rothmans logo. It's not really Derek Bell's helmet design. I sort of took some liberties. And that's my 4th repaint. This thing has been the bane of my existence right now. I painted it, stripped it, painted it, stripped it. I tried painting the red stripes, tried clearing everything to try and even out tones. But finally, after the 4th try, I got it to an acceptable level for moi. I got to do a little bit of refinement here around the corner edge, but just odds and ends, and I've got to put a visor on them. I've stripped this so many times, I'm surprised it looks like anything. So let me tell you about this, though. It's kind of interesting because the red is not painted. The red stripe and the black stripes, all the black that you see actually now, even around the face mask, was done using this tape that I've had for many, many years. I have probably, I don't know how many yards of this stuff. I think I got it on eBay. I think I still see it on eBay. I don't know if they even make it anymore, but it's this Pactra stuff. The red was actually, I used the silver striping because I have so much of it unused, that I took this, taped it down on a piece of scrap plastic, and then spray painted it red. And that's how I got the red stripes finally to work. Because every time I painted them twice, and twice they bled. Even though I used the tester's paint, it was just unbelievable. So, and I'll be putting a visor over this stuff, so this will all be covered up, and I wanted to leave it the original plastic. But this plastic got, I guess because I stripped it so many times, it got soft on me and wonky, and it's not the greatest it's probably the worst helmet I've ever had to paint, quite honestly. It was not fun. But I got it to at least what I consider a satisfactory point. And I'll tell you a little bit about the Rothmans. I explained what I was going to do, I think, in some detail. It worked out really well, actually. So the first thing I did to get the Rothmans logo in place was with my decal, I took a piece of painter's tape and I measured it to the Rothmans logo length, width and height, or width and height. And I took the tape and I placed it, I burnished it into all the nooks and crannies on the driver's uniform. Then I just got a pen and outlined where the seatbelts would be, covering up the blue. So I went and I scribed lines into the painter's tape on both sides. Then I lifted the painter's tape off whole and I placed it right over top of the Rothmans logo, the Rothmans decal, and prayed that it wasn't going to lift the decal, because I, you know, if it didn't work, I didn't know what my plan B was going to be, quite honestly. So, I mean, I guess the only other thing would have been to try and place a wet decal down and cut it here, there, and everywhere, and that would have been very, very, very difficult. So this would be all marked up with the seatbelt marking indicators. It would be covering the Rothmans logo, and then I just cut out the 3 sections that I needed. Then I peeled the painter's tape off to reveal the decal. And then I stuck those decals in slightly tepid water, and they came off, and I placed them on. So I'm probably going to do the same thing for this driver. It's going to be more difficult, though, because if you look, those seat belts are quite three-dimensional as opposed to those seat belts. But I think I can get it to work, and the driver is less bulky. This driver's uniform is really wide, especially up at the top. Up at the top here, where I would like to put it, you've got so much of the seatbelt padding and the Hans device and stuff. It's going to be very tricky, but I'm going to give that a shot. I can't really do this stuff on camera. It's just too difficult for me to think and do this, and I'm not very, it won't be terribly entertaining either. So there's that. That's one more thing I want to do on this guy. And on this guy, I want to put a visor and call him a day. And I'm going to do that with this piece of plastic that I got, you know, like from a nail clipper package or something like that. Just something I got at the store, scrap. I keep a little bit of everything, as you know. And I'm going to stick one of these guys down on here and then cut the clear plastic out to shape. And then I'll have to do some rolling and finessing to get it to bend somewhat. And then for the final step, I will put a piece of clear tape over top of everything and cut it so that there's an edge of tape all the way around it. And then that'll give me something that I can then wrap and stick to the helmet, like, you know, hopefully no wider than this white area over top. Excuse my big thumb. I should be watching what I'm doing. So anyway, that's where my brain is headed. Tell me what your thoughts are, if you think I'm crazy or not, because I think I am. I've definitely gone a bit overboard with the amount of time I put into this, but I guess that's the luxury of being home on enforced vacation. The other cute little thing I did on this one is just they have the stupid little stickies they give you with this generic interior just to give it something. And as I've said many times, I've got to cut this thing. This is so much lighter than this. This is ridiculously heavy. I bet this is like 6 ounces or more. This is paper. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to work this into the car. Then what's left to do on this car is going to be going back to the body and, affixing all of these things. But before I do that, determining if I'm going to build radiators out of the flat sheets of plastic I showed you on the earlier video, a couple of videos ago, this stuff. I also, I can cut air tunnels with this too in the back, the diffuser tunnels, things of that nature, like the model has. It's, they're not really seen. So I'll probably start with the radiators first and then see how that goes. And if that goes well, then I'll move on. And if it doesn't, I might just leave it a shell with the interior, especially now that it's starting to get really heavy if I use that interior with all the 3D printed pieces. So I can post another video if you'd like to just watch me cut some of this stuff out. But I'll sign off on this one, and then I'll start working and roll that one, and we'll see how horrible it is. Thanks for keeping me company. Hope you're enjoying what I'm doing on some level. Talk to you soon.